What's next for Will Anderson in year two? Got to talk to him exclusively shortly after he won Defensive Rookie of the Year. Let's get into it inside the locker room as the offseason continues.
Yeah, it's the locker room on YouTube. You know what it is. Let's get it. Hey, locker room. Yeah, we in the locker room. Texas talk. Yeah, you know what we about to do. Localize every angle's what we really do. We the source. We the post.
It is the locker room, number one source for Texans daily digital content. I'm Landry Locker. You can hear me Monday through Friday, 10 to 2 Central, Sports Radio 610, and the Odyssey app. Got to talk to Will Anderson hours really after he won Defensive Rookie of the Year. Let's react to that. Let's talk about that, and you tell me what you think. What is next for Will Anderson? What is the next step for Will Anderson? Is it get more sacks? We'll hear what he has to say about, the obsession with sacks. Is it, play 17 games? What's next for Will Anderson? The one thing I will say about Will Anderson is he's a very enjoyable young man to talk to. And if you're trying to build a culture, Will Anderson is the right kind of guy. Let's start from the conversation, which you could have heard on Sports Radio 610 and the Odyssey app. Let's start with hearing from Will Anderson on whether or not he expected to win Defensive Rookie of the Year. We know C.J. Stroud expected to win his award. Did Will Anderson? Here's what he told us shortly after he won the award.
I've been doing this thing where I don't let my anxiety and all that stuff get to me, and I've been on this spiritual journey where I just give it to God. So yesterday, the whole time, I was a little nervous, but I was like, bro,
what are you gonna do?
Whatever happens, happens. An award doesn't define who I am. I'm a winner regardless. I'm a great person regardless. I'm good regardless. Everything's gonna be fine. So.
All right. So I mean that's much like C.J. Stroud. It does seem like that's kind of the mindset, the spirituality of the squad. I'll be honest. I do find it interesting that, for the complete season that Will Anderson was putting together, the game in which, he played 12 snaps and had 2 sacks is what put him over the top when it came to that Defensive Rookie of the Year award. I do find that interesting. But what's next for Will Anderson? This is what he had to say when he joined me on In the Loop on Sports Radio 610.
Just keep going. Just keep building. I think the biggest thing that the message was all season is just the time is now. We got everything that we need. We got the pieces that we need. Let's keep building on it, and let's get guys in the locker room that want to be a part of this organization, that play hard, that have that type of mentality, you know what I'm saying, that come to work every day, prepare the right way, and then go out there and have that swarm mentality, man. And that's the next step, to just keep going, is just getting the right group of guys in the locker room.
Yeah, and I mean, he's one of those core guys and one of those right guys. But what does he specifically need to work on? Maybe some pass rush moves, maybe not relying on power too much. Here's that answer from the man himself.
Yeah, it's really just keep building my game and building my craft. And it's just that 1% better, And it was
he's full of cliches, isn't he?
He just sent me a good message. He was just saying
he's a positive dude, man.
Yeah, he's been a great role model for me. We'd even play together off subject. I'm sorry, but we even play together at Alabama. But he stepped into my life and he's been a big help, a big brother to me. But he sent me a message this morning just saying Aaron Donald had told him something it's hard. It's going to be hard to find that 1% because you're great, you're talented, and you're smart. So find that 1% you can get better at. My whole offseason just dedicated to pass rush and just keep building my craft and keep building my arsenal, man. Regardless, I know I can pass rush. I made it to the league. I know what I can do, but how can I get that 1% better?
And I think that's a good example. Talking about Quinnen Williams. Quinnen Williams seems like a really good dude. And Quinnen Williams has each year he's gotten better and better to the point where he's one of the best at his position. I don't want to say he got off to too slow of a start, but I mean, there were probably people nitpicking him like they are Will Anderson. So that's a good mentor for Will Anderson to have. Something that was apparent to me at the end of the season was it seemed like Will Anderson was injured. Obviously, he only played the 12 snaps against Tennessee. He was on the injury report throughout the week. I just flat out asked him, how hurt were you at the end of last year? Here's what Will Anderson said about that.
I had a high ankle sprain against the Jets.
Yeah.
And me, I have to be on the field. So I was trying to do anything possible to get back on the field, to play with my brothers and to help my team win. And it was just one of those things, to just go out there and just show that you're a warrior. You know what I'm saying? Like the Texans took good care of me. Like it was like it's no pressure. Like you don't have to go out there. But for my mindset and me, I'm like I'm good. God got me. Like He gonna watch over me. He gonna make sure I'm straight. I was battling through some stuff, but I love this team to death, man, and I would do anything for these guys.
Yeah, I mean that's the kind of guy that you want. There's also an obsession with sacks, which I can be guilty of. Anyone can be guilty of. The advanced stats was a big part of the conversation when it came to Will Anderson. Some people say you got to finish the play. Others say it's kind of bled into the Defensive Player of the Year discussion. And this is an interesting question answer from Will Anderson. Do people like me, do people like perhaps you, do we obsess over sacks too much? Will Anderson doesn't really think so.
As an edge rusher and as a guy that, knows football and people that know football, it's as the defensive end, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. It's sacks. Like, we crave sacks.
Yeah.
But when you look at the bigger picture, it's bigger than just sacks.
Okay.
It's about how much you're really affecting the game, whether you're making the play or not. Like, how much disruption are you causing? You know what I'm saying? I feel like as a defensive end, it shows a lot. Like, if you're a guy that's causing disruption, wrecking havoc, constantly in the backfield, constantly getting pressure on the quarterback, everything, like constantly always around the ball, I feel like you're a top defensive end in this league.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you look at some sacks, you be like, bro, I can go out there.
Yeah, it's just wide open.
You feel like I can go out there and get
that.
I did.
Yeah, well, there you go. So the sack thing is interesting. He knows what it's all about. Also kind of getting adapted to the city of Houston. Grew up in Georgia, ended up going to University of Alabama. Here's Will Anderson talking about how the city of H-Town, our city, has grown on him.
I'm very comfortable, man. And
Places to eat, places to do, things to do.
He was grubbing.
Yeah, I just got to give a shout out to the fans. Thank y'all so much, man. We appreciate all the love and support this year. But I love the city of Houston, man. Like, food, I ain't gonna lie. When I first got there, I was like, "Wow, this is not gonna be good." This is the heaviest I ever weighed when I first. I was like 260 when I first got there because I was eating out all the time on TikTok, trying to find different restaurants, eating smash burgers, turkey leg hut.
See, you know it, man. You're in.
But I love Houston, man. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, and he was eating a lot. I remember McLean was kind of obsessing over his weight. That kind of makes sense why it got a little bit awkward there. Final thing, and I'm going to call my shot. I think Will Anderson changes his jersey number. I think he should. I don't like the 51 on him. It doesn't look right. He either needs to go way higher or lower, and I always lean lower. I like the lower numbers for those guys, but 51 was something they kind of just gave him. I think he needs to change his jersey number. I wouldn't be shocked if it happened. But here's Will Anderson on if he likes number 51.
Yeah, it was the same. I just feel like it was the same like in college, like with 31. Like, I'm going to ask y'all a question. Which one is worse, 31 or 51?
I think I wanted 51. You said, I'm not going to lie.
I was like, Will needs to get like a single digit number or something like that.
I wanted to, but then they would put me in the classification with linebackers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So.
Got to figure something out, get a little bit lower. Who knows? But my prediction is I think it happens. What's next for Will Anderson? Can he take that step? We just watched some elite defensive linemen. We watched Chris Jones. They don't win that game without him. Nick Bosa, he was wreaking havoc the whole time. Can Will Anderson get into that Mason Crosby type of class? Max Crosby, excuse me. I'm going kicker. Max Crosby. Maybe so. It won't be, if he doesn't, though, it won't be for a lack of effort. And I don't think the Texans regret making the trade for Will Anderson. They had the number, a number of draft picks that they could trade. He seems to be a culture guy, and he's going to work his ass off to get good. So what's next for Will Anderson? I think he continues to make Pro Bowls, and I think he ends up getting more sacks. A lot of y'all are already giving away 31, which means I assume that y'all believe Dameon Pierce will not be on the squad. We'll talk about that a little bit more. I got to get back to a crying baby. Daily content. Be sure to check out the Derrick Henry piece, the collaboration with Stoots. We're going to do one of those every day on top of the daily content. Season don't stop, baby. In the Loop tomorrow at 10. I got a fun show planned for y'all. I can guarantee you that. Heck, we're a few hours away. So I'm going to get some sleep. Appreciate y'all. Always remember, when it comes to this Texan stuff, we're all in it together. Be sure to like the video when you go back, subscribe, like, right along. It has been another edition of The Locker Room. Let's eat. Less than 4 weeks away from free agency.
The pulse of the city too. Landlocked, got the game in the headlock. Localized every time, can't stop, won't stop. Yeah, we top 2 and we not 2. Plugged in daily digital on YouTube.